which is exactly the kind of composition Weibo want. So despite the fact that they're being on red side and some red side drafts having been suspect in the LPL, I wouldn't necessarily get as easy a prio.
Level 3s here for June, early engaged. Charm flash from Scout over the minions, and Zhao, who holding his flash, gets out to safety. Now Tian locked in the ring. Scout with no flash here, gets knocked up by Tian. And the red buff being applied, one more audacious charge. A stun over the wall from June actually keeps his mid laner alive and sacrifices himself to give first blood to Zhao.
I mean, you saved your Ari, right? She's going to be able to get recall and TP back.
If my mid laner could have not died, we would have taken that one. But Scout definitely here, I mean, coming out on the worst end of trades. And Jun still looking to make something happen here as he passes up into that top side ward from Arla. Gives vision over. Q goes wide. That empowered Pantheon spell now completely wasted it. A flash out from Breathe. Arla flashes to follow. Comes on through. Arla about 1 HP. May just be able to kite it on out here. Breathe doing the best he can with potions and grasp, and may still do it, but Arla dashes back in. Slices one, dices two, and the kill's picked up.
That's the sneaky...
Just dinged in the mid lane for Scout, and we're setting up here with a TP coming down as well. This is just going to be Pays returning to the fight. A serrated Dirk in the inventory. It's going to be a flip, going to be a 50-50. Scout on the top side here. Missing goes in, double pulverized, stolen away is the Dragon, and Jun picks that up, no doubt. Missing goes down, and Weibo are running this fight to begin with. Finally, Scout comes in, looking to dish damage out. Tian falls light, low on the backside. A stun comes through to stop that piercing arrow. Pays still wailing away here. It's the bot lane for Weibo that are going to go down. Erha just barely able to dish out one final concussive blow before he falls, and it's JDG who get the Dragon, get the fights, and find themselves the advantage.
Sometimes in LPL you just kind of have to ask the question of why, you know?
Yeah.
Why did we choose to take this fight? We have scouts on top side, so we have to TP in if we want to contest this.
Yeah, Weibo, I mean, they're first to the Drake here. They're looking to take it. This time secured, but missing. Charging forward, attempting to get out to safety. The Realm Warp from Zhao, who just gets his support and his jungler out to safety. And right now, double TP's expended by Weibo to send Breathe back up to the top side, but with a Drake take, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah, Weibo, I think, learned their lesson. They want to avoid the fight. They use the Realm Warp to manage to get out of there, and JDG thinking, okay, we missed the Dragon. If we can get kills, if we can kill them, then it's good for us, but Weibo evaded that, so JDG will have to try a little bit harder to keep the momentum going before they get faced with this Yorick and this Ryze on the side lane.
And a little bit, maybe just a bit delayed by Scout here, as they couldn't really take the fight, but now they're looking to dive down on the bot side. 4 versus 2. Chain of Corruption linking up with a headbutt pulverized from Missing. And everybody from JDG lives. No harm, no foul. Plates as well. Scout gets on the ball. No, and you can see here JDG now really starting to flex their muscles. Little ward over the wall to try and spot out potential contesters. Is Missing now a little bit locked up, forced to flash out over that wall. Tian, Wind becomes lighting, not quite with the range, and Weibo lose out on their own blue buff, losing out on turret plates down on the bot side, and maybe Arla's actually just going to take the whole turret to himself. So bot lane tier 1 falls, a little bit of gold into the Renekton's back pocket, a stolen away blue buff, and again these dominoes beginning to fall, but Weibo starting their own little assault into the jungle here.
I mean, importantly,
does get rooted up, does get knocked up, does get stunned, and does go down. Finally Weibo with a little bit of a bounce back.
yeah, but importantly, I think
Scout also has TP, and he's now base TP'd back in, but importantly isn't going to have that Spirit Rush if a fight breaks out nice and early. Like doing a little bit of early harass takes Missing down to about half HP, and even a little extra Mystic shot takes him that little bit lower. Arla's still bot side as well with teleport, so going to look for a pretty big flank here. Weibo do secure the Rift Herald, but again the question remains, can they get out to safety? Here comes the Grand Starfall as Zhao, who gets knocked up, locked up, taken down. Light running for the high hills as Arla turns back for the Yorick, who finally forces the flash, but this time round not going to be able to get out so easily. Scout takes down Light. Breathe the next one to fall underneath this tier 1 turret, and JDG are running amok in Weibo's jungle.
Oh, absolutely. I think even though Breathe had the Hex Gates, right, this is a fight that should still be in JDG's Grand Starfall. As long as we're able to get the TP flank with the jungle not immaculately cleaned by Weibo, then we're still in a position where JDG will win these fights.
And we didn't actually see, or in picture-in-picture, we got to see that JDG did lose Scout, overextended a little bit, and Weibo managed to find a little bit of a response. Another kill picked up for them in recompense, as Zhao, who continues to be really the only on that mid lane.
No one saw it. Anyway, Renekton, the other thing to note is we talked about the importance of, as we see them falling down a little bit in the side lane. We talked about the importance of the side lanes for Weibo, but if you see bot lane, if you look at the minimap at all, you see Renekton able to keep pushing.
But JDG not really looking to give too much time over to Weibo. Reminder that they are the team that we've set her on the clock here in this game, that the scaling for Weibo is pretty good, and missing, not giving them that time to scale. Realm Warp 4 Tien has been prepped, and he's able to get out between them. Again, JDG not giving them that chance. They have turned up to this Atacon. They've already started hitting it, and Tien takes a decent chunk on his way in from Scout, and maybe for Weibo, that's good enough just to say, actually, we're done. That's it.
Oh, I mean, Weibo have finally learned to say no to a fight. It only took them 20 minutes. It's fine. As JDG secure the Atacon.
So give on the Dragon in an attempt to maybe try and take Scout down up here.
I don't know if they're trying to take Scout down. I think they're just trying to get a turret. That's kind of what Yorick wants to do, right? They're willing to give up the Dragon for that, so at least a tier 2, but they're splitting the gold between the Ride and the Yorick. I think they're just trying to get the solo lanes farmed.
Waves start to clear out a little bit of the vision established in the river. 25 minutes has been hit, and now they're looking to collapse a little bit more aggressively. Erha doesn't get taken for the Ride. Light's now chucked into the middle of everybody. Pays flashed on, but he gets out to safety as well. Zhao, who locked up, charmed up, but still alive, as Light still chunking damage, throwing it down, and Weibo actually coming out on top. They make the play, they get aggressive, and they come out on top. An Unbreakable from Erha saves him from the damage from Scout. And a quick 2-0 on the top side. Weibo Gaming, come aboard.
But for Ezreal, that matters significantly less. No flash on Varus is going to significantly decrease his ability to do damage in the next neutral fight. So, interesting trade coming out for sure.
Chen lands the wind, becomes lightning, doesn't want to take the aggressive push on it, as Ala's getting a little bit of a fight on to breathe here. Help from June as they take down the Yorick without any problems. Scout in the mid lane, forced to use Spirit Rush to get out to safety, and missing is going to be traded by JDG. So a 1-for-1 support for top laner here. Winning trade so far for JDG.
Yep, and Pays still with no flash, so very few flashes in fact, but again, does have
Light walking on a pink ward, but they pick up Ala first. He flashes out with the Dominus active, and Erha gets charmed and taken out. Unbreakable does not give him anything. Now Zhao, no flash, short head up, butted into a wall. Wow. Pays knocked back, but that's not going to do enough. Unbreakable will keep him alive, and Zhao, golden, but he still goes down. Breathe not a part of this. Ala able to TP back in. 2-for-0, JDG will take the soul.
And that was a really interesting fight to watch, because we see Tien actually come in initiating that, but separated around that bit of terrain there. Easy for JDG to pick off one target and then keep pushing from there and split the rest of the fight. So really good understanding of both the terrain and how their team wants to play. So even though we are putting up gold, we get the pick off. It's kind of like whoever fights first, right?
Okay, we're getting flamed for no reason, as Tien is also going to get flamed by his jungle, heading into the red buff, taken down by JDG. And now with the Hextech Soul, Scout goes in attempting to predict Charm out as Light. Locked up, 2-for-0, 3-for-0, make it more, and JDG with that Soul are just not stopping.
I'm sorry, I'm still stuck on the average age of
So was I. I was stuck there as well.
Anyway, JDG actually have an opportunity where they can end here. It's like 34 minutes, or 34 seconds before Ezreal's back.
Eyes on Zhao, who here has got to try and clear those waves. He gets immediately headbutt pulled and taken to the grave. Breathe will do what he can, but there is nothing this Undertaker can do to take down JDG. And game number 1 is picked up by your 3rd seed. A little bit of KDA padding, some stat farming to be done in the base as well. Tien, not going to go...
Front to back, very much a valid option, right? For the side of JDG, playing multiple angles through the Vi, through the Annie. Very, very valid.
is going to have to at least get some sort of protection, you'd like to think. And, you know, there is a cost for Tien going for that gank. It was, you know, 5-10 seconds delayed on his clear, but in exchange for a mid lane flash, that is absolutely worth the trade. As topside, we're seeing some good brawling going down. Arla looking for Breathe, grass procs being traded, and now Tien once again did this in game 1, didn't die mid lane this time round. He's looking for Arla to burn the flash before using that pillar, chomping him down. Finally, the flash comes through. They're going for the dive here, and one more smack, and Tien finds first blood.
I was worried because, I mean, like, Breathe knows he can only take one tower shot, but now the cross map on the bottom side of the map.
Polymorph gets cleansed, but Light still not anywhere to go. Gets down under the turret. Missing flashes over the walls of the air. Doesn't whack him one to go down as well. It's a trade across the map. Light goes down, initiated by Weibo to begin with. And all that being said, there are 4 people heading up toward this top side, but Missing and Pays are nearby. Whether they engage on this or not remains to be seen, and they're actually looking for Missing. Flash from Erha knocks up the Lulu, and she gets taken down instantly. Erha maybe gets traded. Scout on an angle here. Double stun, double tivers. Finds one in response. Pays is still going crazy. Not yet level 6, but doesn't need it, as Tien also clubbing away at this Scion. Soul Furnace keeps him alive for a little bit longer and actually baits in Light. He may fall as well now, as Scout throws out his last spell, last bit of mana, and Pays trading. Got a need to go over the wall. No level 6. Pays finds 3 in the top side.
It's an absolute disaster. Scion health bar at all, and Pays cleaned up the front line. Finds his way onto Light. Easy as you like. And
looks like it's not stopping
he's
there
going to find
either.
Xiaohu, apparently.
It is going from bad to worse for Weibo through this early game. We valued that both of these teams, you know, they've got elements of that scaling, but as we get later on, Azeri is going to out DPS Azaya, no doubt, and with a 1400 gold lead already for Pays in this early game, JDG can again feel very confident with their position in this game, as Erha and Light maybe looking to once again engage onto Missing, but Scout's there, Pays is ready, and Jun's here as well. Weibo, the bot lane, have overextended, they flexed their hand, and they will fall.
Rude, it's looking, well, let's just say this sequence hasn't been pleasant to Weibo.
The evolution is back. Missing is forced to flash, and that's fine.
Yeah, that's totally. That might not be okay though. Oh my god.
Pays getting
something.
Goober one shot by Breathe is the 10. JDG are going to start off this dragon.
They want to contest, and I don't mind this because Breathe's here. They're not going to get the dragon. They might find the fight afterwards.
So Pays has Hop ready to go over the wall. All out immediately onto Jun, who just gets enough HP to actually flash out over the wall. And for Weibo, that's a disaster. Now Arla knocks up Tien, who gets double stunned. Scouts Tibbers finds 2 as well. Arla's running amok on the backline, and they cannot take him down. Breathe has nowhere near the same consequence, and Pays flashing forward once again on the Zeri, already on a double kill. Ultra Shock Laser not quite finding Light as he sidesteps that one, but JDG come out.
80 seconds to 60 seconds, which is a big deal for a semi-global like that.
I mean, so then for Arla, a pretty big win is a TP up to this top side here. We saw this from Weibo in game number 1, where they're just trying to either take a turret, force down a Scion with no ulti, no flash as well. Knockup does land, and Arla's in a little bit of trouble here. Empowered Rock thrown to the face. It's not even going to land as Breathe takes the kill beforehand.
Yeah, it does feel like a bit of an unnecessary death. They saw him fly across the map. So, you know, it's not like Arla didn't know that play was coming, but still goes down nonetheless, and
He's
the tower's
so
going to be shared.
surprised by the Talia spawning
You know
in
what?
top lane. How did this happen?
I think he's more... All right, if we're to give him benefit of the doubt, he's probably more surprised that he came from the front instead of the back. You know, like, if I'm Arla there, I'm expecting a Weaver's Wall, just from in between the tier 1 and 2. Not a
maybe a bit more time to try and slow play it and use the turret maybe a little bit more to your advantage instead of just getting knocked up underneath it and take a little bit down here. And for Tien, that's a tool used. Xiaohu, in fact, is going to ride this in, and we're TPing into the mid lane here. Something's going to happen. Scout gets stunned initially. Arla whiffs on the unstoppable onslaught, and remember, no flash for this Scion just yet. Lulu to buy some space, some time, but the Scion goes down. Flash for flash between Breathe and Pays, and now the Zeri can go a little bit nuclear. Charm, knock up, CC chained as Xiaohu leaks it up, and Pays is down, and now Weibo, they have control over mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, Paze is just looking to squeeze a little bit too hard there for the extra damage. Missing used his ultimate and his heal. Hold on a second, it's an extra dive.
They're going for even more here. Missing dodges out on the seismic shove, but Shun's going to go down. Scout flashes into 3. Finds a stun on the wall, but nobody falls. And now he's just resigned himself to death. Erha lives as well, and Weibo have found a fight.
Goodness me. I mean, fair play Weibo, but he just questions asked again. Not only of Arla, but this time Paze. And then eventually Paze, right? No one can really... Arla's not buying space here. Paze isn't really dumping damage into meaningful targets. And then Missing uses the heal and the ultimate, and this is why this is crucial.
Again, with Tian having a really solid early game, finding the gank mid lane to force Scout's flash, finding the kill top side to give Breathe that early opener into the laning phase, and you know, by extension giving him the tools to be able to take down Paze the Dragon, knowing that Paze is the carry. Double TPs have come through from both sides as Xiaohu's wall cuts off Shun, cuts off Paze. Should both be able to get over the wall here. Early knock up onto Breathe, he's able to get out to safety. Looking like a comical flip here as Paze forced to dash away. Smite secured by Tian, and Weibo now looking forward here. They've stolen the Atakan away, and that's going to be enough for them.
Alright, well, fair play Shun. That could have been a pretty bad play. You lose Shun there in a situation like that. Maybe you end up losing tier 2 on the top side. Oh my goodness.
Arla flashed you. 1 point. The unstoppable onslaught. Xiaohu did have to flash away, but he's on the wrong side of the wall. He will go down. And it's another shutdown. It's this time in Paze's pocket.
You know what, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah, that might just be the science behind it, to be honest with you. This dragon is going to go completely uncontested by, by JDG. They don't want any business to do with that.
And this now does change.
Tier 1 on the top side.
With the Atakan going down, how the fights are looking to play out, that's a pretty big boost of experience for a lot of Weibo. It helps them sort of stay relevant in this game. Looking to route JDG out of mid lane, they've established control over that wave, and they probably lose the tier 2 here as a consequence for their actions. They spent time looking towards the Baron, they didn't find it, and Weibo come out on top.
Yeah, good reactions there from Weibo to just strip away what they acknowledge they can from JDG's rather rush attempt at the Baron. They're going to catch this mid-wave high as well, just kind of keep JDG suffocated a little bit. Or they go too far. Maybe they give an angle to Scout on Shun.
Yeah, unstoppable onslaught blocked by the pillar there as the charm comes through, but Erha unfortunately stunned. He's used the quickness, and now they don't have that tool, and JDG immediately turn tail up toward the Baron once again. Sacrificing control over that mid-wave, so they have to start this up early. Missing though, caught by the pillar. Not going to burn the flash, walks the long way round, and again it's Jun this time forced to flash out. Re-engaged onto Tian, and JDG are going forward. It looks good for them, and that's because it is. Jungle is so far traded, but Paze is unleashing his damage onto Weibo. Tries to flash forward, go a little bit aggressively here. Still with that summoner spell available, and now just waiting for that ulti to wear out. Arla taking up the damage of Light in the front line, and Lightning crashes out, and JDG go for a 1-for-1, and Weibo once again.
Zyra, it feels like he needs to deal damage without being turned on or one-shot in this kind of composition. As Xiaohu is now the target of an engage.
But he's pulled in Jun deep, and he's going to get taken down very quickly over the wall, and far too aggressive. JDG lose their jungler with Baron and Dragon alive. Now JDG, they've got to fight their way out of this. Paze hops over the wall. He's the carry. He's the threat that Weibo need to focus. And so far, they've not found access. Just a little bit of attention focused onto Missing. And it's a 1-for-0 still in favor of Weibo. But what do they do with this?
I mean, the Baron start, right? Shun's dead. He's not on the map. Ultimates are available for JDG, but the one that's super important to me really is the Wild Growth. It provides so much space to Paze. Not being there, can the presence dissuade this Baron? That's the question.
Playing up on this top side, want to be able to pivot out if possible, but Xiaohu has based. He's come back in on a flank angle. Erha with a double knock-up, but JDG looking to take this fight themselves. Breathe already very low in the front line, stands tall as the Baron falls. Weibo get in, they get out. Way. Are they unscathed here as Light's been left to leave his own devices? He goes down, a 1k kill for Paze, but 4 members take the Baron.
I have a sneaking suspicion that Paze might be basing for a 5th item right now. Weibo get out with the ultimate prize, however, with the Nash, and they're going to get this 4th dragon, so they're going to be very speedy out on the map,
is
out of combat.
Soul point here for Weibo that they take. And they are going to still have. JDG started up nice and early.
Nice and early indeed. Can
Scouts
they
on this
secure the
flank
smite?
angle.
That's the big question.
So it's secured. The soul not picked up by Weibo. Scout waiting for Weibo to ingress into their jungle, and maybe they know that somebody's there. An initial stun stops him from throwing up the pillar, and Tien gets the subjugate down, but is it too late? Absolutely not! Pays knocked up, Scout flashes forward! Thunderstorm by Light keeps himself safe and Pays into the GA now. Ulti goes down, and Weibo breathe, taking Scout over the wall, and Pays still alive. Arla falls. A 2 for 1 so far as Scout actually looking, and he gets more! Dashing forward, takes down 2, takes down 3. It's overall just JDG coming on top. And
Stunned out. Light has to use the ultimate and the cleanse, and Pays is able to get so much damage out. He even dies. Oh.
They're looking. They found 1. They found 2. The Zeri is dead.
They're picking mid. They're not even picking the Baron. They want to end the game now that Pays is dead. We're 38 minutes into this.
And they might just be able to do it here, Tamada. Their AD carry is down. The carry of this team, the Pays train that we set up early, has fallen. Scout and Arla, the only 2 carries left alive. Weibo don't seem to care.
Scout is on a mission.
He's on a flank of all flanks here, trying to get access, but he's being marked by Breathe. Arla's job here to try and clear the wave. Scout as well. Burns his cooldowns onto Breathe, and JDG, they're just buying time. 20 seconds left still for Pays. Scout falls as well, but that wave, it's still alive. 1 minion, 1 Nexus turret is all they need. And Weibo Gaming, against the 8 kills Zeri, 12 minutes into this game.
See the LeBlanc and think victory is on its way. That said, there isn't really a lot of easy to use 30 minutes too low, but you're kind of 45-50% HP, because once LeBlanc has that mimic, rotation ultimate back up, that is just straight up lethal, right? And the Azir doesn't really have a meaning.
That's what you hate to see. Well, he's going to try and make up for it by taking some grubs. He gets plus 30 off of that one. Jun will be annoyed at him for taking some of the gold, and he's actually pivoting up toward this top side.
Oh, wow.
Missing uses Erher as a taxi. Scout flashes in, and Light has been left to the wolves. He tries to trade back, but he is going to fall. It's a 2 for nothing and the grubs. And JDG find a nice little fight for themselves.
Really nice.
Hopping over a wall, QR, land a chain, and that's normally, a good chunk of somebody's health bar that will go down. That said, though, Scout not doing too badly in the poke wars himself, as it's JDG starting up the Dragon, looking to trade this 1 for 1, and Tien on the top side. What does he do with this free time? Well, so far it's looking like he's going to steal away a Gromp, but Arla's playing very safely, very respectfully on that top side as well.
Yeah, doesn't want to give over a kill or any more.
Lurking in the backline, notorious late game threat. You've got a good front line in that Poppy. Won't call it an amazing one, but certainly something that can stand in the front. And with the MF as well, not a champion that notoriously does a lot of damage as you move later on into the game. Happy for JDG to try and take this a little bit slower. And with that, Tien is the one that flashes forward. Impale's missing and decides we actually want some action here. Aftershock keeps him alive for a little bit longer, but not long enough. And it's going to be Breathe that picks up the first kill for Weibo.
Yeah, cheeky little pick off that. The objective, Scout not going to elect to hit this top tier 2 here. And Weibo are going to just try for the time being. Tien is just going to give him the hover, right? And ward is going to let Tien know he's there, but unfortunately the JC has just about enough range to be able to buffer Tien out of his own little bit of CC.
Yeah, that's a very nice interaction for the Jace to have on his side as Xiaohu hops forward. Chain's going to land, and a quick half HP trade gives Xiaohu a little bit of a leg up, but when Scout took the turret, he's just going to go back and recall and has teleport to get back into this fight. With Drake spawning in about 5 seconds time, both teams has 1 Drake apiece. Scout goes back, recalls, doesn't actually pick up anything from his items as he moves into the mid lane, and Missing looks for an engage. Doesn't really seem to have found anything too great, as it's actually Light finding the first kill, and Tien just falls on the back half of this. Pays, dashes out of one distortion, gets caught by the other, and Xiaohu takes JDG on a merry dance as Scout flashes forward, throws soldiers into Narnia, and gives his life for the cause. Breathe goes forward and buys the rest of the space, and now Pays has to run for the high hills. Breathe with flash up, ready, goes on top of the JDG AD carry, and he's going to get out to safety for now, but a big win for Weibo in mid lane.
big win for Weibo, but the pressuring pays in that fight too to really shut his ability down to open up with those 2 items. So all in all, Weibo just do a fantastic job of navigating that exchange.
And it does feel really good for...
It was kind of leashed by the end of it, as just putting the positional advantage gained to immediate use, securing this tier 1 in the mid lane. Side lane waves and scenarios well. The objectives are often just so much more important to handle, as Xiaohu is just going to deal a bunch of damage to Arla.
That was just QR. Yep. So imagine a chain on top of that, and you know that's quite possibly just lethal damage at the minute for the LeBlanc, who's looking pretty.
Like I think it's gonna be done. They're gonna be done before we are.
Yeah. And maybe JDG are looking to make that happen a little bit sooner as the engage comes through from missing, but once again it's a solar flare onto Ascana, who has still got 4,000 HP to go, but that looks a little more convincing. Zhao, who flashes and dashes into the backline to find nothing. Air has low, won't go down, missing once again. Goes forward and finally falls. The first kill goes to Weibo, but JDG are cleaning up. Breathe the next to fall. Zhao, who's got to distort out to safety. And Light's flash might just be 1 second just too late. And JDG find the fight, find the kills. And now they can turn tail, head toward the Baron.
Yeah, head towards the Baron for sure. Xiaohu chunks out Shun. Is he going to find a bit more than that?
Steadfast presence.
He's got him.
Just solo kill him. Who's the assassin here, Jamada? Jun or Xiaohu?
I mean, it's the Poppy with the sundered sky, of course. Like, come on now. It's just the front line still, and then this is where things get funky. Xiaohu sees, you know, a 1.4k no magic resist target, but the steadfast presence reaction time is there. He can't dash back, so the second part of the Q connects, and the buckler auto was buffered before the distortion comes through on the return for Xiaohu. And now, as we come out of the replay, JDG is sieging onto the bottom side of tier 2.
And now with the Baron, the game you'd like to think will open up, and hold on a second, Jun's just caught Xiaohu and taken him once again. I mean, about half HP from that LeBlanc is, again, very threatening. Her dashing forward now makes it much more difficult, and you know, if Paige just gets a couple quick autos, maybe that's going to be enough, as Weibo lurking here on this bot side, still attempting to defend this tier 2, but Paige already took the tier 2 in the mid lane. He pivots down to the bot side, and they find that without any real pressure either. And a slam into the wall onto Tien, who does just get melted. The culling to finish off the job, and Arla's auto will finish the deal as Jun also very low. Bullet time, Magnet Storm combo looks good, but Scout eviscerates Light in the backline. And Breathe now is the next target. Xiaohu's dashing away, Breathe is out, and 1 HP left for Xiaohu as they take the bot side and seem to be taking this game by storm.
Yeah, and you can see why Rylai's is such a frustrating item on Azir to deal with. I know there's a lot of discussion amongst not just Azir players, that was just the Leandries, right? Like flat out. And, the damage is still pretty comparable auto to auto. But if you get 4 more autos in because of the Rylai's, then yeah, it's you know, it's a bit. Whilst it's not necessarily the most gold in the world at this point in the game, in terms of just pressure, it'll be good as goodbye for the time being, Xiaohu. But that
was solar flare as well.
Yeah, it was solar flare, but we won't talk about it. Oh, hello, actually, Shun might be in a bit of trouble. Impale.
Flash from Tien here, gets out of that dangerous position, but it's already 1. That's going to be 2, and despite the bullet time reigning over missing, Pays has dashed in. He's taken down 1, and the rest of the team will follow up to keep him alive. 5-0, JDG take game 3.
Not quite 5-0. Xiaohu squeaked out somehow.
Oh, well, he should have died.
Big surprise. But he should have died, I agree. And even with him being on the map, I don't think he's going to be able to do too much here. Steadfast presence, goodbye.
And it's JDG that bounced back. The blue side game right back on top, and with a game.
It feels like a Page channel, doesn't it? Like some of the majors that he's willing to pull out like this.
Yeah.
I can't say, bro, sure, like Renekton mid, but it's like, sure, but also Galio could just be made not to play the game here. And Barrier comes through, just to stop some of the trade damage.
Yeah, I mean, the rebuttal doesn't do anything here, and Missing is just dead. Has dinged level 3 and decided that he wants to take down Missing. No, it's not just Arla.
Flash.
I don't know that that's going to be enough here, Jamada. He is under the turret. He is exhausted. Now a TP's coming through, but he is just dead. Kill goes over to Arla, and Light, unfortunately, kind of left to be fending for himself.
We've got to get... Yo, Bree.
He's stopping recalls. He's stopping recalls. And you know what? He's done a successful job on one aspect, as Jun is able to have to walk the long way back. And now Xiaohu ready with Flash, looking to try and taunt his way in. Gets Arla, gets Jun as well. And it's another kill for the set support. 2-0 on the set. And now with Equalizer up, it's clearing the wave, baby.
Yeah, clear the wave. Good job. I mean,
JDG in a pretty comfortable position to take this Drake. Good time to remind and to maybe look a little bit at the win conditions for both of these two teams. The Equalizer and second Dragon of the game looks to be started up by Weibo. Now, again, you have to imagine that if JDG wanted to counter for a Dragon, so much more worthwhile if you are Weibo in this situation. Is Jun finds Breathe and is immediately flashing on top of him, scouts in tandem, and the hook pulls him right back in. Explosive charge takes down the Rumble.
Yeah, Bree will fill this one up, and they'll be 1 kill away from securing feats of strength overall.
Arla will respond with first turret down on that bot.
They randomly screwed up the ratio on Galio, so going full AP, like every tick was more or less doing like the damage it would do when it would hit you. He's
just not able to move. Scout finally gets the rocket jump away, but there's a killer instinct into the backline, and Light not actually able to find it, as now Call the Forge God gets interrupted. Arla airballs on that one, and now he's just about able to walk out to safety as Tien comes forward, takes down Missing, and now Arla left under the turret in a 5 versus 1 situation. His odds aren't looking too good for this one.
Yep, he's dead. Tower goes down as well, and feats were secured for Weibo. Oh man, I mean that was a huge set of kills. Thankfully for JDG, Paze was able to answer out on that tier 1, but Weibo can go further, right? Because of the amount of kills they got and where Shun was positioned on the map when this player was going down. They even pick up the tier 2, but this overreach potentially is now leading to teleports, and Scout is here on the flank.
Yeah, he's looking for one, and there's a really deep TP in here from Xiaohu as he finds one quick taunt. Tien looks for Scout, but doesn't quite find him, and with the TP in from Xiaohu to bail his team out, they get tier 2 turret on the top. They're still hunting.
He's in that much danger.
Well, he is probably just fine. It's Erha maybe who's going to be left and sacrificed. However, his team are here. Tien was sniffing around the entire time, comes back in to try and help out. Cyclone onto Jun as he just takes down the Neferi without any real recompense. Now another killer instinct into the backline as Light finds Paze, flashes over the wall, double kill for the Kaiser.
Rude. I think that whole sequence might have just broken JDG.
Yep.
They lose out on that play so hard on the top side. That just felt like a tilt play. Through and through, just looking for something, just hungry for a play. Dragon's up, you know, like go get set up over there. Make the life of Weibo difficult to play around that instead. Via the vision, they just weren't able to do it, and now they're losing out more than ever.
Still not done. They've taken down the tier 2 turret with the Rift Herald, and Arla maybe one more auto attack away from safety, as now Scout's trying to break Tien free from that Rift Herald. He jumps forward, and honestly wouldn't have been too surprised if they actually tried to re-engage, because you've got no jump, you've got no reason being there, and now Light is going to tear you to shreds as well. Facebreaker pulls down one. Jun still dashing forward, gets knocked up by the Justice Punch, gets taken down. A Golden Eclipse is going to find one, but it's a double kill, triple kill already for Light, as Weibo are still sieging forward. Paze finally able to take down the Kaiser, and Xiaohu might be able to get a response. But this is just JDG throwing themselves at Weibo and getting nothing for it. Xiaohu finds the kill onto Paze, flashes out as well. Absolute disaster for Jindong Gaming. Does get caught by a snare, and it, stops the Penta in its tracks. Maybe would have been able to space out Arla, but there is a Dragon. I won't call it a fight going down, because Weibo did just take it relatively uncontested, and they're only up 3,000 gold, which in the grand scheme of things feels like they could have been up way more, or should have been up way more, as Weibo now on the Atacant as well. There's Erha with the engage, there's the follow-up, and there's the dive that we've been looking for. Weibo saving no prisoners down on the bot side, but a Call the Forge God might give Scout a bit of a free time to try and wreak havoc. But everybody's alive. They're using their HP as a resource, and JDG have no tools to cut through all of it. And Breeze flashes over, insult to injury, and Tien Nimbus strikes the ace, and Weibo find 5.
Yeah, you know what? Fair play. At least Weibo are trying to make this game for a fast one, or rather, maybe I should be thanking JDG for the decisions going on right now. Hakan secured, more towers, Baron's up in 3 minutes.
Broadcast because Weibo were waiting for the Baron. Fortunately, I'm taking the reins back. Baron is spawned and Weibo are straight to it. JDG, they obviously don't want to give this up, but it's already pretty much dead. Arla tries to call the Forge God, gets it, and sacrifices his life. He did just throw himself into the back line and made sure that Jun couldn't get in. But they did get the Baron.
Though, it was making me believe that very poorly, I'm sure. He's laning, and this is like old seasons. Xiao's probably going to like do some cool stuff and get out. Fantastic, good job.
Exactly.
LPL go, hold on.
And now Tien wants to go forward. Light wants to go forward as well, and he's pretty isolated to begin with. But the damage just isn't there. Scout jumps out to the waiting arms of a Flame Spitter, and it's once again an absolute slaughter. 3 for nothing. Make it 4 as Pays goes down as well. He will rebuttal absolutely nothing. And Arla farms a wave in the mid lane to get himself a little bit more gold as Weibo charge through the top side with Baron.
Yeah, I mean, this should be it. You know, the writing has been on the wall for the last 10 minutes. We've kind of been waiting for the inevitable to play out. And JDG have, frankly, sprinted themselves into their coffin here for game number 4.
Yeah. I mean, with this Baron and with this massive gold lead, I don't know that they're going to need the Baron necessarily to close out this game. It might be a little bit of a boost for them. They've only got 20 seconds left on it, and you can see circling the JDG bot tier 2 right now, and with one final wave about being cleared out, it's going to be the final effort with the Baron to take this tier 2 turret, but you know, something tells me that they're going to be quite confident to take it even up against no Baron.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Very unprofessional. I have a sneeze that's like trying to
perfect.
Go.
No, that's
and we're not in person, so I can't even signal you like, yo, keep talking.
Where JDG are still stronger. Scout has got a 1,000 gold lead over his counterpart, but I mean, you're comparing that to a almost full build Kaiser and Missing, who's just, oh dear, had an absolute disaster. Flashed out and then hooked his way right back into death. Baron spawned up, and that is probably just handed over now to Weibo, and sat on a pink ward, but probably gets spotted out by the lane ward that JDG have got down. He's looking to try and make more of this than just the Baron. Flashes on top of Pays, who does manage to escape over one wall, only to be met by Winds of War, Equalizer, and everything else that Weibo can throw at him. JDG are crumbling in the mid lane, and Weibo are going to send us all the way to game number 5. They do not need the Baron. They do not need to take that fight. They do it for the fun of the game, Jamada, to destroy JDG in their face.
Bit of a mental breakup for the love of the game, is how we say it. And first Nexus Tower's about to fall. They're going for the full-on dive. There goes Arla, Missing next on the menu. And Shun, I mean, he could try and survive.
The minion. Yeah. He did what he could. He cleared the wave, but the Nexus turrets are going to fall. Weibo Gaming bounce back again in game number 4. Queue up Silver Scrapes. We're going to game 5. Some dive, a forward-going composition with the Sivir, that's for sure. And that's the main side of this. This time it's Missing that finds it, and this is a nice little ingress from JDG to find just a little bit of an advantage in denying Tien his red buff, who might actually have stepped a little too far forward. Knocked up by the Jarvan flag and drag handshake back on in, and Pays finds first blood.
Yeah, I mean, perfect CC chain there, and
that recall timing coming through. It's still JDG with this bot prio, with Pays having that first blood that can find that initial dragon and to put themselves 1-0 up on those neutrals.
Breathe, who has, just been having the better end of some of these lane assignments and the matchup overall.
And now with the grub spawning as well, that is just sacrifice. The Scout here still has flash. Will he be able to get out to safety here? Between Worlds comes down, and a relatively early flash preserves some of Scout's HP. Let's get out to safety, and his couple of ultis expended, but no kills coming through, and Weibo Gaming.
Yeah, and by the way, finished that full clear. He is now only like 80% of the level behind.
engage from Arla here on this top side. This guy has got no mana. He's got Missing by his side and fortunately able to sidestep a Tempered Fate, which does not matter as a double Cosmic Binding binds up 2. Missing able to flash the wall only to be followed by another Magical Journey. Breathe flashes out of the Cataclysm and he's grasp rocking, he's sustaining, he's shielding and dancing over Jun and will send him down to the grave.
That's so unfortunate for Shun, but Greaves' dancing feet there were just excellent. Please carry the game for us, Carrie.
Yep, the original, the old school. People will remember Jinair Green Wings Teddy, the Civer game of 54 minutes and 3 seconds was our longest game of the LPL so far. Hoping that we don't make it that far in this game number 5. As now with no ultis, Weibo still looking to fight. Tian Han shook back in, but without the damage there, this is looking pretty rough, pretty miserable for Jindong Gaming. Flashes out of the Cataclysm, and Xiaohu now the one who's in a little bit of trouble. Flashes to the other side of the wall. Still gets caught by the Deadly Flourish. A double re-engage, Cosmic Binding to be pulled on afterwards, and Pays is sent down. Arlov jumps on him but doesn't find anything, and Light is rattling out these ricochets. One final tap won't quite take down Jun. It's a 1-0, but it's Weibo coming out on top.
And this is what we were just talking about. Pays, flashless, Missing, flashless. Who gets caught in the Tempered Fate? It's both of them now. The ultimate connects onto Scout.
Another re-engage, but this time they only find Arla. Zhao, who goes through the wall and maybe has gone 1 step too far forward, unless he can montage on them. Takes down Missing, hops over the wall again, and gets out to safety.
Dude, the health bars! Look at everyone. There's no Cataclysm on Shun, and he's got the mana barely for a Tempered Fate. Goodness me, I think
into their control. They're taking a second dragon of the game. They're taking a tier 1 turret down on that bot side. And they are starting to, Jamada, put a real stamp on game number 5. The 7th seed of the LPL coming into playoffs. Now up against the 3rd seed in Jindong Gaming, a team that was on a 10-game winning streak, a 5-series.
But it's certainly going to start getting there very, very soon. More time to come in. Here's a pick.
With fake onto air, he's trying to buy time, let his team get in, and he's done exactly that. Tien's there with a Glacial Prison that sends Missing straight to the grey screen. Now Xiaohu's flying over, Tien in tow. They want Scout, they want Arla as well. The Jax is able to hop out to safety, and Weibo, they just find one, but again, it was a play started by JDG that benefits Weibo. It's Weibo now heralding down in that top side, this tier 1 turret, the final piece of the outer turret puzzle that they need to claim, and JDG, they know that they've got no reason to be here. And honestly, with this Rift Herald in tow, they could very well look for a second turret, look for a charge even further. They push bot wave so deep that nobody needs to answer it for a while. Happy with Breathe answering mid lane because Pace can't step up to him, and now he can move up through this topside jungle. There's no response at all from JDG. The turret's going to get charged on, and maybe there's more to follow.
Yeah, Arla's taking a lot of damage here, actually. He's dead.
Binding connects, and Weibo are just not stopping on the hunt, and hunt they will. Missing goes golden, but despite a well-placed hostile takeover, nothing happens. We are 22 minutes into this game. Weibo, with Grubs and Herald at their side, have broken open the base, and they're trying to break open the game, Jamada. Nexus turret's now under fire. TP in from Scout is going to thwart their efforts. But Weibo, we thought this might have been just a tier 2. Instead, they take the whole top side.
Yeah, I mean, that was insane. Just so much gain from Weibo for so little really expended in the grand scheme of things. And I was a bit worried at the very end. And they're going to get out. Arla's going to teleport bot to try and get something back. But, man, it just does not really feel like anything.
Across the majority of their lanes. And in particular, we look at that top lane, right? Breathe is now 3 levels up over Arla, an entire item up over the Jax. Food stamps damage with his Jin build at the minute. This is Weibo Gaming being clinical and at this stage looking really good.
Like the upset is on the cards here. Light just maybe. But so many of the teams have beaten each other throughout the year. It's really hard to, really safe and certain. As, oh my goodness.
3-man Tempest Fate!
Three.
Erha finds 3 and binds up both of them. JDG are slaughtered in their topside jungle, and it is off the back of this Erha Bard. The 5th pick bot lane to decide it all, and Weibo with an open inhibitor in the top side and a wave in the mid lane are looking to send JDG to the lower bracket.
We were apprehensive about the pick at first, and I think rightly so. How many times you see a Bard do as well as this? But Erha single-handedly put Weibo in his backpack for this game, and the rest of Weibo happily played their parts to make this as smooth as possible, and the game's done at 27 minutes.
An MVP